Hey, it's Monica. Welcome to the Art of Living Boldly. On this channel, we talk about the psychology, philosophy, and art of living boldly. Today, I want to talk about and share with you what I like to think of as the recipe for connecting to your boldness. It's the recipe for living boldly, and it consists of 3 essential ingredients, what I like to think of as meta skills. These are the 3 crucial skills that help you connect to your boldness so that you can live the life that you are meant to live and that you dream of living. They're the skills that help you get unstuck and march confidently in the direction of your dreams. So, a little backstory. I have spent the last 10 years developing this recipe. It started in 2015 when I moved to a new city and I got the inspiration to create a meetup group that I called A Year of Living Boldly. I was dreaming about the year ahead, and that phrase just came to me, a year of living boldly, because I realized that the word bold really held a lot of meaning and resonance for me, and I knew that that was what I needed in my life. I knew it had something to teach me because the truth was, I felt like I wasn't bold. I felt timid. I felt like I was always kind of holding myself back or being held back in some way. I felt like I was letting my fear and my self-doubt stop me from fully pursuing my callings and dreams. I felt like I lacked confidence in myself. I was always self-conscious and shy, which I had done some work to overcome by that point. So I felt a little more confident, at least confident enough to put myself out there and start this meetup group. But I just felt like I had so much more potential and so much more that I wanted to give. One of the stories and songs that really resonated with me at the time was from Disney's version of The Hunchback of Notre Dame, where Quasimodo sings the song Out There. And in that song, he's basically dreaming about just spending one day out there, as in outside of his safe, confined walls of Notre Dame. And he's just dreaming and imagining how amazing it would feel to be able to break out of that safe, confined space and actually participate and walk among the people that he's been observing. And so that really resonated with me and how I felt at the time. I felt like I was kind of safeguarded and protected and also separated from other people and connections and relationships, and also just being able to fully show up as myself and participate in the ways that I wanted to in the world. So this journey all started back in 2015 when I was bold enough to start that meetup group. And that's a whole other story. That group changed my life. But I'm bringing it up because ever since then, I have been obsessed with the idea of boldness. I've been thinking about it, reading, writing, testing out new theories, discovering new ideas, experimenting with my own life, and also teaching and sharing these ideas with other people, starting with that meetup group. So this idea of boldness and my desire to live boldly has only grown stronger over the last decade. It has never left me, even when I actively tried to let go of it, because I was like, how long am I going to keep on this whole boldness obsession? But it just would not let me go. So here I am, still consumed by this burning desire to live boldly myself, and also now to share what I've learned and share this recipe that I've honed over the years of how to connect to your boldness. So if you resonate with any of my story about how I used to feel and sometimes still feel like I am selling myself short and playing small and not living as courageously or authentically as I know I truly am able to and that I dream about, get ready, because we are going to dive into the boldness recipe that you can use to connect to your own boldness. So you may have already noticed that the way I talk about boldness is a very specific and intentional way. The way I see boldness is that it's not like a switch you flip. It's either off or on. You're either bold or you're not. You either have it or you don't. I see boldness as something that you connect to, and all of us have access to it. So even if you feel like you're not really that bold, or you're questioning whether you can be bold, just keep that in mind, that it's not a switch you flip. It's something you develop a relationship with and you practice. And that's why I developed this recipe with these 3 meta skills that you can actively hone to connect you to your boldness. All right, let's dive in. So the 3 essential ingredients, the 3 meta skills that help you connect to your boldness are growth mindset, self-trust, and self-empowerment. If you practice these, you cannot help but be bold. So the first ingredient, the first meta skill, is growth mindset. If you are familiar with the self-help world at all, you may have heard this term before, growth mindset. It was coined by a psychologist named Carol Dweck. So the way that she originally talked about this idea is that there are 2 different ways that you can relate to your own abilities and challenges. So she put it in terms of you either have a fixed mindset or you have a growth mindset. So the fixed mindset is based on the belief that your abilities and your intelligence are in a way fixed. They are unchangeable and unchanging. You cannot change how intelligent you are, and you're either good at something or you're not. You might recognize a fixed mindset in everyday interactions of people saying, well, I'm just not good with numbers. Or one that I think of as an example from my own life is I used to say, I can't cook, or I don't know how to cook. Those kinds of phrases and thoughts are maybe an indication of more of a fixed mindset where you think, I'm either good at this or I'm not. There is no gray area. And the same goes for your level of intelligence in general. You either think I'm smart or I'm dumb or some variation of those, but you don't see that there is any room for growth or change, as opposed to the growth mindset, which is in a way the opposite of that, where you believe that your abilities and even your intelligence are changeable and moldable, and you basically believe that it's not fixed, it's not something you're born with or you're not, but there is potential to grow and improve. And because of that, when you have a growth mindset, the way you relate to challenges is much different than if you have a fixed mindset. With a growth mindset, you actually enjoy challenges and even seek them out because you believe that they can help you grow and improve. And you can actually find them fun as an adventure or an experiment. Whereas on the other hand, a fixed mindset would tend more towards avoiding challenge, avoiding anything that threatens your fixed identity. I mean, if you believe you're bad at math, why would you try to get better? Why would you want to be challenged in that area? It makes you just feel inadequate because you don't believe that you can grow and improve that ability. So growth mindset is the first essential ingredient in the Boldness Recipe. It is one of the crucial meta skills that you must develop if you want to connect to your boldness and live connected to your boldness. You have to develop your own growth mindset and practice it. The good news is that you can develop a growth mindset, which in itself, believing that is practicing a growth mindset. So as long as you are able to recognize maybe where you do have a fixed mindset and you can notice it and start to change the beliefs and the story you tell yourself about your abilities and your potential for change and growth. If you can move yourself towards having more of a growth mindset, that is when you will really be able to live boldly. And I'm going to go more in depth in that in another video. All of these 3 meta skills I will cover in their own dedicated video. So we'll go even more deep into it, and I'll give you tips and things you can do to actually start growing your own growth mindset. So a growth mindset is essential because without it, if you just think about it, You can't live more boldly if you don't believe that it's possible for you to change and grow. If you are stuck in a fixed mindset and you think, well, I'm not bold, I can never be bold, that's going to hinder you from being bold, from connecting to your boldness and living as boldly as you can. So that's number one. The second meta skill or ingredient in the boldness recipe is self-trust. Without self-trust, it's impossible to be bold. I've heard people use the term self-trust in different ways, so let me explain how I define it and how it relates to living boldly. I see it as the relationship you have with yourself when it comes to how confident you are in your own viewpoint, your own perspective, your own opinion, your own judgment. So if let's say you lack self-trust or you have really low self-trust, how this can manifest a lot of times is being insecure about making your own decisions. And because of that insecurity, a lot of times it can show up as you constantly looking for validation from other people. You're seeking advice and other people's opinions to inform your decisions or to confirm your own sense. A lot of times we are disconnected from our own truth. When you don't have that foundation of self-trust, you lack the confidence to go against the grain and to pursue your own unique path. You look for things that are guaranteed, that other people have laid out a framework or a formula for, because you don't feel safe trusting your own intuition, your own instincts. You tend to doubt your decisions. You might consider yourself an overthinker, and you may be intimately familiar with analysis paralysis. Or like I said, you may have that compulsive need to get validation from other people because you're not showing up as your own independent, strong, clear thinking individual. So because of this description, you can probably see why self-trust is absolutely vital to connecting to your boldness. And when you have self-trust, you can't help but be bold. So I see this as something that we all need. We all need to build and develop our self-trust, especially if you want to live boldly. All right, and the third essential ingredient or meta skill to connect to your boldness is self-empowerment. I created this term and I'd like you to just think about it for a second before I go into the explanation. Just pause and reflect on that idea, that phrase, self-empowerment. What does that mean to you? What does it make you feel or think of? I love it because I feel like it perfectly captures what this last concept is about, this meta skill. It's about being able to empower yourself to be the source of your own power, strength, freedom. Instead of feeling disempowered or needing someone else to give you power, you can give that power to yourself. And in fact, you must give that power to yourself if you want to live boldly. A lot of us can fall into a pattern or a habit of feeling like a victim, feeling almost helpless in our lives. We think we need other people to give us permission to be ourselves or to live the life we want to live. We think that we need to be empowered in some way. But the truth is that that's an inside job. It's really about a mindset shift and a commitment to taking full responsibility for your life. If there's something in your life that you don't like or you want to change, you take on the challenge, the task of changing it yourself, of doing what's in your power to do about that situation. So you don't blame other people or complain or criticize without doing something constructive, without finding your own role, the part that you play in the problem, how you contribute to your own circumstances. When you practice self-empowerment, you give yourself the freedom and the possibility to live life on your terms, to not let other people or circumstances dictate how you live your life. Another way I like to think about self-empowerment is that when you claim your power, you become the artist of your life. An artist is a creator, someone who has choices to make, who has the power to select different elements and create a masterpiece in whatever way and form they decide. I love that analogy because that's one reason I named my business The Art of Living Boldly, because I do see being bold as an art. And the self-empowerment piece is when you actually claim your role as the artist of your life and you see your life as a work of art that you get to create. So there you have it. You have the 3 essential ingredients for connecting to your boldness: growth mindset, self-trust, and self-empowerment. Together, these 3 create a magical recipe that has the potential to change your life. So when you think about these 3 meta skills, I'd like you to do some reflection on yourself and be curious and wonder how these apply to you. Of course, I would love to hear in the comments which one of these resonated with you the most. Which one do you feel most strongly like, yes, I need this in my life? Are there some that you feel like, yeah, I'm pretty good at that one. Like I'm pretty good with that skill. And now that I'm aware of it, I can get even better. So please share in the comments anything that resonated with you from this video. I'd love to hear. Also, be sure to check out the individual videos where I dive even deeper into each concept and give you actual steps you can take to start building and developing those meta skills and connect to your boldness so that you can live the life you dream about and confidently pursue your callings and dreams. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.